Let me start the timer. 15 minutes. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Fifth Recovery. I appreciate you listening to me. Let me start off with the 5 things I was appreciative for on the next day in my thankful journal is December 11th, 2001. I am thankful for my mother. I'm thankful for my continued health. I'm thankful for recreational drugs. I'm thankful for Delgado. I'm thankful for porn. I don't remember why I was thankful for Delgado. I think I was trying to manifest maybe going to school. Maybe that's why I was thankful for Delgado then. My mother was the last time, and the first one this time. The way my journal is written, I've got it so there's like 6 entries. My little Jetsons thankful journal that I've had since 2001, and there's 6 days, and I eventually got to where I would not allow myself to repeat anything on that page. Once I flipped the page, all new, but couldn't in that 6 days. Anyway, here we go. The topic I decided to go with today is relapse. If you stay with me this far, then you're listening. And I know there's a lot of my friends. Anyway, I know there's a lot of my friends who aren't paying attention to this, and that's fine. I don't need everybody paying attention to this. I am, I'm just putting it out there for my own sanity. I've always liked to journal. I used to keep I still have every journal I've ever had in this closet over here. Yeah, I like video journaling as well. And hopefully at some point somebody will come across this and like get a little help, a little support, feel not so alone, something. I don't know. Hopefully it'll help somebody somehow. If not, it's helping me. It's helping me. I need to get it out myself because I'm going through trauma therapy. And I was just introduced to the machine this week. There's a machine, and you hold each thing in your hand, and it was explained to me this way: trauma therapy. It works this way scientifically. This is the definition that like your brain works like sometimes you think like if you have a dream and you can't remember what it was, and you're like kind of it was something about that blah blah blah, but you can't really completely access that memory. What trauma therapy and these little things you hold in your hand, supposedly, what I've been told, is that it starts off going zip, 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 goes from this one to this one, this neat, 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 neat. And that is supposed to replicate REM sleep in your brain. It puts your brain, when you sit there relaxed, and it's like zip, zip, this vibrates, back and forth, back and forth. It's the same as your brain. It gets your brain doing the same thing as REM sleep with right? And then this hasn't happened yet. I just got introduced to the machine this week, just sitting there. I previously wrote up the 10 best things that have happened to me, 10 worst things that have happened to me, and and I got introduced to the machine. Oh, and I had to set a place with a safe, calm place in my life. With someone who I considered a protector, who was not part of my trauma, so it couldn't be my mom, because I love my mom. She was my protector most of my life, but she was part of a lot of my trauma, so a protector, a wise person, and there are 3. I can't remember the other one. But ultimately, I ended up there with in my grandma's kitchen table, basically, or dining room table, with Venus, Megan, and Salamander. Those are my 3 power people. So I did that this week, and yeah. But I've been thinking about this since the beginning, talking about this most recent relapse. And let me pull up my little pictures, because I just took some screenshots to be clear on the dates, because I let it be well known on Facebook and through a lot of other stuff that I had meth relapse in 2020. I quit right in February, and then I quit in February, and then I relapsed in August, And then that became a Facebook post that became everybody in the world. Everybody who knew me knew I had a meth problem again, right? And everybody kind of thought that I'd solved that then. But so the dates I have, we started doing the Fixing J Tombstone podcast right after that big Facebook post. That was in August. We did the first one in September of 2020. We had the first Fixing J podcast, which probably most of you haven't heard it. I don't think it's been released. It only lives, I think, in my Google Drive at this point. That went until May 6th of 2021. So at least until May of 2021, I was still not doing drugs, meth. At least until April, May. Yeah, May. And I would say all the way up probably till my birthday of that year. So my most recent relapse, happened from basically August of 2021 till August of 2023. And it was in September of 2023 that I went and requested a mental health evaluation, and then that got me in October, and by November I was in rehab basically. So 2 years. It was a 2-year little relapse there that most people, once again, didn't know about. I'm going to keep it secrets. And what brought me there? Every relapse, my drug addiction and all addictions are kind of immediate related to trauma. And when I first got hooked on meth, it was because of the trauma of Hurricane Katrina and all that went with that, and all that went with living in the New Orleans metro area for 2-3 years after that. It was insane. It was like it was post-apocalyptic. It was literally post-apocalyptic living here. There was like no grocery stores for a while. The only places to eat were like the few restaurants who would send a truck once a day to Pensacola or somewhere way over there to get groceries to come back and keep a restaurant running. There were like 2 or 3 restaurants that did that. So it's not surprising looking back that I kind of got into drugs then, because it was a lot to deal with, and I don't deal with things well. I'm a very comfort-driven person. And it's also not surprising to me that I relapsed the year going in when my mom died, and it's still I've been like on the edge of crying a lot like lately, because I'm starting to think about the idea of really working through all this trauma and trying to get it to a point where I'm not, traumatized, I guess. Anyway. Where was I going? Oh, so what happened after that, after 2020 and the podcast, after 2021, I don't remember when, but somewhere after August of 2021, I'll say, I'm pretty sure. I have my little meth dealer who I hooked up with other guys and I got meth occasionally from other people, but there really is one human being who is kind of the embodiment and epitome and symbol of and source of my meth addiction, at least the most recent one. And Kier asked to meet him, or my partner asked to meet him, and I was really hesitant to even hook them up, because I was like, I don't know, do I need him to know him? But nonetheless, I did. I introduced him, and they've hooked up a few times, and my partner's, done drugs with him and all that. And what made me relapse this most recent time was that my Kenny, I'll call him Kenny. Kenny, my drug dealer hookup, who really likes me. He's got a big old crush on me. That's why I got most of my drugs for free, or very cheap. I could go get high right now for completely free, no doubt. But Kenny really likes me, and apparently my partner went and hooked up with Kenny, and then I get a message from Kenny saying, "Hey, your partner's come over here. Why don't you come over here now?" And I didn't. I was like, okay, well, I thought I was only staying, I was being all sober trying to, because it had upset Kier so much, or my partner so much, that that I felt with him breaking that seal, but why the fuck not? Why shouldn't I go get it? And I did. And then that relapse lasted for another 2 years until I got into therapy and rehab once again at fucking 54 years old, about to be 55, and my life's a fucking mess. And my therapist feels like she can get me, because it's so hard, because of course most people are going to look at me or I feel that it's easy to look at me and think, oh, my life's a mess because I'm doing drugs. But I would argue that I'm doing drugs to get through some stuff that I was never emotionally prepared to get through. As much as I love my mother, she was the strongest rock of my life. My mother was flawed. She was depressed, and she was never a protector necessarily of me. She was a home base, but she was not a protector, And it's a hard thing for me to accept these things, to accept that my mother was not the perfect person I always wanted her to be. So yeah, I've been on the edge of crying a lot lately, and setting up this podcast. Speaking of which, how does everybody like the new framing? It takes a lot. There's like a lot of wires and lighting. I'm sitting on a toy box with my back against my bed. And it's a weird, not a natural setup. And I had to get up, of course, how many times I forgot my drink, I forgot my phone, I forgot my notes. And every time I had to get up, I had to undo all this wiring to get up and go, oh, my phone's over there, I gotta go get it, because this is all precarious. It's like a chair on top of a stool on top of a chair with a microphone right here. How do you like the microphone? Hello. You know, speaking of that, there's something called ASMR, and I don't completely understand why people are into it, but I feel like I'd be really good at doing some ASMR. I've got a good voice. I get very quiet. People have been very into my voice my whole life. Lene LeBlanc is obsessed with my fucking voice. Y'all. Anyway, ASMR. I don't understand it, but I think I'd be good at it. Whoops. What's going on here? What is happening here? I don't know what's happening here. There's a noise being made. Oh. What was that? It's like feedback of microphone to microphone, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, oops. It was sitting there fine. Now it's not sitting there fine. I don't know what I changed, but now I need to hold it, I guess. Anyway, I've only got a little over a minute left. So, not many people have been watching. I think literally 2 people have watched each episode, and I'm fine with that. I think I know who at least one of them are, and I think I know who the other person is. Nobody's left comments or liked anything. Go ahead, do the little like and subscribe. Of course, I think the 2 people watching already subscribed to my channel, and but go ahead and hit the little like thing. So I don't know, just cause. So yeah, the time is coming closed. I don't know what I've actually came across the schedule for the Fixing Jay podcast that happened, and starting next week I'm going to go along the subject topics from that, and I'm going to cover those subjects that we covered in the Fixing Jay podcast. I'm just going to cover them by myself. This will be on my own Fixing Jay podcast. What else has happened? I also love some horror movies. How about some reviews of horror movies from me? I can tell you everything about all the horror movies. Don't watch fucking what was it? Oh, that's it. Late Night with the Devil. It sucked. Late Night with the Devil sucked. Okay, well that's the end. Change is good. Transition is hard. When life feels that it's most complicated, it is exactly when you should stop and say thank you.